I'm sorry to have made so much noise. I thought you might have been asleep. Have you been drinking?
It is the custom on election nights.
Well, please don't let me disturb you if you're writing a letter.
No, I finished it.
Have you eaten?
I wasn't hungry.
I'd have been here sooner, but I was called to attend some wretched girl's dog. What's the matter?
Are you a fatalist, Dwight?
Are we going to have a philosophical discussion? Or have you a more personal reason for asking that question?
Are we the masters of the dance? Or are we merely puppets, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. And what has made you wonder that at this time of night?
This thing. 5 minutes ago, I tried to shoot myself. The damn thing misfired. Since then, I have been debating as to whether I should try again. Of course, I realize it is not in the best of taste to use the hospitality of your room to do it in. But I couldn't get a room of my own, and it seemed faintly vulgar to do it in the corner of some dirty little street.
I don't understand you.
What don't you understand?
Why you should want to kill yourself. And if you do, why you should ride 25 miles to a strange town to do it.
Well, one can develop a quite unreasoning prejudice against spilling one's blood on one's own doorstep. It makes a mess of the house.
It'll make a mess wherever you do it.
Can you explain to me, Doctor, scientifically, what happens to a resolve when you put the barrel to your head, pull the trigger, the hammer clicks, and nothing happens? Should I blame myself for not remembering that powder gets damp very quickly in this damned Cornish atmosphere, and that I should have brought some dry, or say it was just fate? Or is the final humiliation to shirk having another try?
No, it seems the most sensible course. Why suicide anyway?
Oh, it's a long, complicated story.
What story?
Never mind.
You're young, property.
Mortgaged.
You have a wife and a child. You're respected.
Oh, Doctor, please. You'll make me weep for joy.
Had it been your cousin Ross, I might have understood. On trial for his life. Not to mention having lost his only child, his business venture having failed.
God damn you! Be quiet.
However, he seems to have kept his self-respect, which you perhaps have lost.
What makes you say that?
Oh, I think there must be a great loss of self-respect before suicide can even be thought of.
There are times when it may be the only way of restoring one's self-respect.
Well, perhaps you didn't drink enough. Perhaps you should have got twice as drunk and slept it off. A pistol ball is very dramatic.
A pistol ball, Doctor, has no morning after.
Well, it would be even more vulgar to do it whilst I'm in the room. Why don't we have a drink and talk about it? We have the whole night ahead of us. Here, drink this brandy. That cheap gin will poison you. Bring up unhealthy thoughts.
Oh, my thoughts were unhealthy without the gin.
Do you want to tell me about them?
No. No, they're very private.
Well, perhaps we can talk about something else.
Well, here's to the devil. God knows whose side he was on tonight. And God knows whose side he'll be on tomorrow.
Gentlemen of the jury, These two defendants stand accused of vagrancy and of flagrant begging. You've heard the evidence against them. You've also heard their own evidence on their behalf, that they have not nor know of any other way of life. I would ask you to bear in mind that these two women are married, that they set up homes with their husbands, and that in the ceremony of matrimony it states that marriage is for the procreation of children, and for wives to love, to honor, and to obey their husbands.
He's summing up now.
What time do you think Poldark will come on?
Well, Lister could take half an hour once he starts on the precepts of Christian life and the evils of drink.
All right, well, let me know as soon as the jury goes out on this one. Are you coming to watch, Father?
No, I'm more profitable ways of spending my time. Come and tell me when the verdict's in. He's being charged with the wrong things anyway. The murder of Matthew. That should be on the charge sheet.
Unfortunately, it's not, Father. But I have brought the matter to Mr. Ball's notice. I think he'll try and make something of it.
Mr. George, sir. Mr. Nicholas. Friend of the trial, sir. Reckon Captain Poldark be a bit nervous by now.
I should imagine so.
Wouldn't like to be in his shoes, sir.
No. A master painter here is appearing for the prosecution, Father. He was very badly treated by Captain Poldark.
Dear, dear.
Net and crops. True name. Net and crop. You'll have a drink, please, sir.
Enough for me, thank you. I have to leave.
A mug of ale might be pleasant, Master Painter, thank you.
Fetch you one now, sir.
Please be polite to him, Father. He's one of our best witnesses.
Terrible thing has happened, sir. I just seem to have no money.
Let me buy you a drink, Master Painter.
And I swear kindly, sir. And I'll repay from me windfall.
What windfall?
30 guineas we're paying him, Father. 15 paid, 15 still to come.
30? That's an expensive investment. It's getting more expensive by the glass. I hope the honours aren't costing us as much.
The condition of matrimony, like the condition of any law, is that, as with any contract, it must be adhered to. And I would ask you to bear in mind, gentlemen of the jury, when you come to make a verdict, that a pledge given in honor must be maintained. Now, the defense says that these two women have been at the mercy of circumstances, but we must always remember that to some extent we make our own circumstances.
They were hungry.
Dad, isn't the law boring? Have another sip, my dear.
My mother, sir, dark old woman, one of the best. Always wanted to go back to Dartmoor before she died.
If you'll excuse me,
Sit still a moment, Father, please.
And we was to take her. It was all prepared. The trap, the harness, the lock. The lock.
Smells like a pig farmer's bucket.
My brother to come out of the cottage. And what do he say?
What did he say, Master Painter?
Our mother died 2 minutes ago. She never saw Dartmoor again.
Very sad story.
Ah, Judd boy. Hey, Judd, we've been looking for it. Hey, come on, have a drink, Judd. Come on.
We have to go, Master Painter, if you wish to join your friend.
Wife, you gentlemen forgive me.
I think I better stay here, Father, and keep an eye on him. At least make sure he gets to court on time.
I suggest if you don't want the judge to adjourn the case, you should give him a wash.
Gentlemen of the jury, what is your verdict?
Guilty.
Silence in court!
Defendants, you've been found guilty of vagrancy and of begging. For this, there is only one sentence. That to be taken to the square and publicly whipped 27 strokes.
They were hungry, that's all! Just get them food! You're going to
Have that man removed!
They were hungry, that's all!
Dad,
that to do?
It's your grandmother's song.
Me grandmother, a Wiltshire woman. God bless her heart. The fly. The fly beyond the terminal. They told me I were right. Hey, keeping of the terminal. The fly.
Put up Ross, Venner, Poldark.
Poldark's on next, sir.
Sober this one up. Use the room behind the court. I'll get him outside for you. Master Painter.
End of the terminal.
Master Painter.
Where are you dining?
Oh, the Rose and Crown, I expect. Aren't you? 5 to 1 on hanging, 2 to 1 on transportation.
My father, sir, great singer.
Was he?
Saturday night, he'd sing something proper.
Most enjoyable.
There wasn't a hymn, sir. Saturday night in the tap room, he wouldn't sing from first verse to last.
Splendid. This gentleman will look after you, Master Painter.
That's
Look
real.
after him, Mr. Guy.
That's real kindly, sir. Seen you somewhere before.
You are Ross, Venner, Poldark?
Yes?
Ross, Venner, Poldark, hold up thy hand.
He must be a very odd man, then, your Captain Poldark.
Oh, he get his temper up.
I heard he threw you out.
He thrashed me.
Thrashed you?
For nothing. For getting drunk. For nothing.
Just for getting drunk?
He thrashed me. Threw me out.
Just for getting drunk. He deserves all he gets, Master Painter.
Oh, you do that. And he'll get it what's more.
Gentlemen of the jury, look upon the prisoner. He stands indicted in the name of Ross Venner, Poldark of Nampara.
Now, that night.
What night?
The night of the wreck. Now, let's see if we remember everything that's happened.
That he did on the night of the 7th day of January in the year of our Lord 1790, not having the fear of God before his eyes, but being seduced by the instigations of the devil, did incite peaceable citizens to riot, and plunder feloniously with force of arms, and did take away divers goods belonging to a ship in distress. And furthermore, upon the arrival of officers of the law, did lead and direct resistance to them, resulting in loss of life, and the wounding, and rendering unconscious, directly or indirectly by the accused, of one Captain McNeil of the Scots Greys.
Prisoner, how do you plead?
Not guilty, my lord.
Hardly be tried.
By God and my country, my lord.
You may sit at any time you wish, Captain Poldark. Mr. Bull, when you're ready.
Calf's going through it with me later.
No doubt there are a great many of you here who will remember the great gale of January last. A mighty gale. And no doubt a great many will remember the ship. a Cornish-owned ship, not a foreigner, that was driven into distress on Nampara Cove, just as it happened below the house of the prisoner. The prisoner, a man comfortably circumstanced, a mine owner, and a landowner of ancient name. Now, I believe, gentlemen of the jury, that you would have expected, as I would, as any honest man would have expected, that one's first thoughts would have been for the safety of those aboard, but apparently not according to the prisoner's behavior. Apparently, his only concern was to rouse the lawless spirits of the village, and within 1 hour, without any thought for the safety of those aboard, as evidence will show, the ship was dismembered, the prisoner having boarded the ship and personally conducted the operations of dismemberment.
That is not true. We will come to your evidence, Captain Poldark, in good time.
On the night of the raid, gentlemen of the jury, it must be remembered there was one passenger left on board, Matthew Sanson. Now, we do not know whether prompt help could have saved him. All we do know is
I
dead.
must ask you to restrain yourself, Captain Poldark.
All we do know, and this is all we know, is that no such help was given, and the man lost his life.
He was dead when I got there.
We will come to that, Captain Poldark. I must ask you to let the court proceed in its own manner.
The prosecution will also show that when a small contingent of His Majesty's dragoons came upon the scene, the prisoner warned them not to interfere at peril of their lives, and when they did go down upon the beach, they were set upon by the prisoner and by others.
The court will be cleared following any further disturbance from the body of the public. Continue, Mr. Bull.
An officer of dragoons received serious injuries. There were 2 deaths among the rioters and many injured. It was, in fact, as evidence will show, a night of riot, theft, and murder, all instigated by the prisoner.
No, that's not.
Oh, it is unfortunately not within the Crown's scope to bring to the attention of the jury previous acts of lawlessness
It
committed
is
by...
certainly not, it is certainly not, for the simple reason that the Crown neither knows nor can possibly prove that they have in any. And I ask your lordship to uphold me.
I do, Mr. Clymer. I must ask you, Mr. Bull, to remain within facts we can dispute, not gossip you may have heard. This is a court of law, sir, not a market square.
I ask your lordship's pardon.
The jury will disregard the prosecution's suggestion. You'll disregard it as if you never heard it. Difficult as that may be, now that Mr. Bull has introduced it, contrary to the rules of law.
Your pardon, sir. I withdraw my observation.
A little late, Mr. Bull. Please continue.
I dearly loved my mother, sir.
We all love our mothers, Master Painter.
If only she could see me now. What's become of it, Judd, she'd say. What's become of it, Judd, my son?
Come along, Master Painter. We haven't got that much time. Get a mug of water and fill it with Zolt. Now, let's go over it again. Captain Poldark roused you.
Captain Poldark roused me.
And?
Captain Poldark roused.
And he said...
I don't know what he said.
He said there were pickings for all. He told you there were pickings for all. Now...
Captain Poldark roused me.
There was a wreck.
There was a wreck. And there was pickings for all.
And when he boarded the ship, Master Painter, listen to me. It's to your own advantage. And when he boarded the ship, he carried a line to take off the cargo. Do you hear me?
It is also obvious from the prisoner's statements that he has sought to justify his actions, justifications that have stamped him without doubt as a man of dangerous sympathies. Now, gentlemen of the jury, there cannot be a man amongst you that does not own some property. If you would keep that property intact, then men such as this prisoner must be made an example of, an admirer of the Jacobins and French revolutionaries.
Mr. Bull!
As the Jacobins would take your property from you and share it out.
Mr. Bull!
The flame of sedition, unrest and violence must be stamped upon before the entire country.
I have an objection on your behalf, sir, Mr. Bull! We are trying a criminal charge, not a political charge. Any further attempts on your part to introduce extraneous evidence which has no bearing on the charge in hand, I'll have you removed.
Yeah, get it out!
If you wish to continue, Mr. Bull, you will do so on direct and disputable fact. Do you wish to continue, sir?
I bow to your lordship's judgment. Call the first witness.
Call the first witness. Nicholas Vargas.
How is he?
Has a sore head, but I think he'll be all right. Salter's looking after him, forcing salt water down his throat.
This Vargas, is he one of ours?
I don't think he'll give any problems.
Nicholas Vargas.
Yes, my lord.
Now, you address me as sir, not my lord.
Yes.
Mr. Vargas, will you tell the court what happened on the morning of the 7th of January last?
Well, that morning
Don't hurry yourself, Mr. Vargas. There's no need to be nervous. The morning of the 7th of January last.
I was woken up by shouting, yelling, and Captain Poldark here thunderously banging on the next door cottage.
Could you hear what was being said?
Well, I heard Captain Poldark.
What was he saying?
He was shouting out, Juds, good pickings for all. There'll be a wreck coming ashore.
Will you swear that is what he said? You are already under oath, Mr. Vargas.
Aye, sir.
And then what?
I went back to sleep. Then in the morning, I went down to the beach to see what was going on like.
And what did you see?
Captain Poldark was directing me what you might call operations.
Well, how do you mean, directing operations?
Well, telling people where to be and what to do.
Did he instruct anyone to go aboard the vessel to see if there were further, as you call them, pickings to be had?
Mr. Bull, rephrase that, please.
Who boarded the vessel?
He did.
And came back alone?
Yes, sir.
Oh, going on a little further, Mr. Vargas, what happened when the dragoons arrived upon the beach?
Captain Poldark went up to them and spoke to them.
In what manner?
Seemed they was having high words, sir.
And what sort of high words?
I was too far away to hear, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vargas.
He's a liar. He's been bought. It isn't over yet.
You have the opportunity if you wish to cross-examine him, or would you rather I didn't?
No, I'll do it.
It's a wish. But you would be putting your guineas to better use if you let me speak for you.
Captain Poldark, do you or your counsel wish to ask any questions of the witness?
I do, my lord.
10 to 1 on hanging if he won't let his counsel speak for him. Who's got the brandy?
What kind of a night was it, Nick?
Rough, sir. Blowing up something proper.
In which direction, do you remember?
Well, sir, if the ship was blown on, must have been in southwesterly.
Southwesterly. And your cottage is southeast of Judd Painter's, and it's not next door but one, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You must have very good hearing, Nick, when the wind's in the wrong direction to hear something said 2 doors down. That, or you've been paid a great deal of money.
That's right, sir.
Captain Poldark! I'm going to warn you, as I've warned others in this court, we are here to find the facts, not to present unanswerable and unprovable suppositions.
I beg your pardon, my lord.
Continue, sir, but do it reasonably, maybe to your own advantage. This court is not without intelligence, whatever you may think.
My lord, may I elucidate a point?
I'd be grateful if you'd elucidate a great many points, Mr. Clymer.
Did Captain Poldark rouse you that night?
No, sir.
Did you resent that?
Why should I?
That you were not there for the pickings?
I've been all records, sir.
But you were there.
I went to see what they was about.
We didn't get there until after dawn, Nick. We were never there together.
Captain Poldark, either you are going to examine this witness or your counsel. I'm not willing to put up with both of you at the same time.
What did you see, Mr. Vargas? What were they about?
I was on the beach, and Captain Poldark boarded the ship carrying a line.
A line? Ha! To rescue people!
No, sir, it was a line they used to drag ashore the cargo.
So it was Captain Poldark, you say, who organized the looting of the ship?
He carried out the line, sir.
Did you carry a line, Captain?
Yes, I did. You may not know it in London, sir, but if you are to rescue people from a wrecked ship, you need a line, if only to save yourself.
Now, repeat. When the soldiers arrived...
Damn him! I'm going. I can't.
Yeah. Sit down. Now, soldiers arrived.
Mr. Vigus, for the benefit of the jury, may I clarify your evidence?
I should have thought his evidence perfectly clear, my lord. He saw it happen.
Couldn't have. He wasn't there. Captain Poldark. According to my notes, there were a great many people on the beach that night.
I know he wasn't there.
That is a matter of evidence, sir. I'd be grateful if you'd leave it to your counsel for one moment.
Mr. Vigus, you tell us you were not roused, yet say that you were present when Captain Poldark boarded the ship. You heard Captain Poldark rousing some other person, although the wind, a high wind, was in the wrong direction. Not one witness, not one sworn statement mentioned seeing you there, and yet you saw it all.
I damn well did.
You also tell us that you heard Captain Poldark having, as you call it, high words with the captain of dragoons, and yet you were not aroused. Nor, with the weather as it was it likely that you would have been awakened by any commotion. Mr. Vigus, to be in two places at once, you're either a magician or a liar.
It was a liar, sir. The weather was
in the wrong direction.
I heard them, and when they went off, I went and watched them to see what they was doing.
What were they doing?
Reckon.
No. Lie. 5 to 1 on hanging.
Thank you, Mr. Vigus. Put up the next witness.
Put up the next witness. Captain McNeil.
Have you ever seen an execution?
No, I haven't, not yet.
I saw one last year in Venice. They tied horses to his arms and legs and tore him apart.
You're Captain McNeil?
Yes, sir.
On the night in point, is it true you were making your way down to the beach?
Yes, sir.
For what purpose?
To prevent the looting of a ship and to disperse a riot.
And as you were making your way down, did the accused address you?
Yes, sir.
Is it true he warned you not to go any further, since he or others would use violence to prevent you?
My lord,
Please, please, Mr. Bull.
What did the defendant say to you?
He said there were a great many people on the beach, that many were drunk, and that it might be dangerous to proceed.
However, you did proceed.
It was my duty, sir.
And almost as soon as you arrived on the beach, you were struck and rendered unconscious.
I was, sir.
By the accused.
My lord, that is a leading question.
I'm as aware of that as you are, Mr. Clymer. Mr. Bull, I don't want the opportunity of reprimanding you again. This is a court of law, sir. We will conduct it as such.
Captain McNeil, do you know who struck you?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Captain McNeil, Captain Poldark is accused of inciting a riot in which you were wounded. On oath, can you say that he did?
Certainly not.
And equally on oath, since you were unconscious at the time, can you say that he didn't?
No, sir.
So it is possible, and I only say possible, my lord, that Captain Poldark rendered you unconscious himself.
I did not.
Or incited others to do so. Now, Captain McNeil, as you were unconscious, are you able to swear that Captain Poldark did not lead or assist in the riot?
No, sir, I cannot.
My lord, I
Please
really
allow
must.
counsel to continue, Mr. Clymer.
And therefore, Captain McNeil, as an obviously honest man, can you now swear on oath before this jury that Captain Poldark did not incite the riot in which you were wounded?
No, sir, I cannot.
Thank you, Captain McNeil. The court is very grateful.
Sick. Do you want to go out?
Mr. Clymer, Mr. Bull, we are getting close to the recess. I'd like to complete this case today.
I think we can, my lord.
Mr. Bull is obviously an optimist.
Now, this can't be a very pleasant experience for you, Master Painter.
No.
And a court of law can be a frightening place, what with the judge and the jury all looking at you.
Yes.
Now, all we're trying to do is help you through that ordeal. Because if you make a mistake, they could make a fool of you. And if you make a very stupid mistake, they could even send you to prison.
Huh?
So, let's get it all in good order. And then we can go out and get some fresh air, if you've a mind. Now, it was Captain Poldark roused you.
Yes, sir.
And he told you to rouse the village because there would be pickings for all from the wreck.
Yes, sir.
My lord, I would like to place before you the sworn statements of 7 witnesses who say they saw Captain Poldark lead the assault on the troops on the night in question.
Yes, I have copies here, Mr. Bull.
Edwin Truant of the parish of Truro swears he saw Captain Poldark on the beach at the time the captain of the dragoons was struck.
What was his name?
Edwin Truant.
Is he present?
Is Edwin Truant present?
Pissed in the Strad, my lord!
I don't know any Edwin Trewant, sir, and I don't think he knows me.
Simon Glanville
Who
also...
in God's name is Simon Glanville?
Captain Poldark.
These are statements, my lord, from people whom I've never seen,
Captain
nor
Poldark.
I don't doubt have ever seen me, since I wasn't there at the time.
Quieten yourself, sir! You are doing yourself no advantage. I've read these statements, Mr. Bull. I assure you I will take them into account in my summing up. Does that satisfy you, sir?
Thank you, my lord.
They are lies, sir.
The jury will decide that, Captain. Do allow your counsel his best advice, and let me be the judge.
Gently, gently.
This court will adjourn until 2:30.
How's it going?
I think the odds are on our side. Vigus was dubious, but he stood by his story. Of course, the sworn statements will count for much. Poldark doesn't have any witnesses to refute them. He's also being pig-headed, which isn't doing his case any good at all.
What about Bull? I hope he's giving a memorable performance.
Oh, he's doing very well. Mind you, Poldark's counsel's as good.
Then Bull must make sure he's better.
Won't you come and have something to eat? Can't eat. It's so lonely for him. All on his own. People telling lies. The trial isn't over yet. Lies. Where do they get their lies from? Will anyone say anything? He was at the house. Somebody will stand by him. Who? His counsel may have some witnesses we know nothing of. What will I do if they... Verity, I don't want to be without him. Without him, I'm only half alive.
Will you take a glass of claret with me, Mr. Clymer?
You're very kind, sir. But shall we wait till the case is over, at which time we shall know who pays?
Every single day.
This afternoon, instead of coming back into court, why don't you...
There's the dog doctor.
Ma'am. And how is the little beast?
He is not a little beast. He's a little dog. And he is, in fact, much better.
Good. Are you exercising him?
Yes. I walked him round the park this morning.
Neither of you will regret it, I'm sure.
That dog doctor should be told his place.
He's not a dog doctor, Caroline. I understand he's a very good physician.
Then why doesn't he have a practice at Bath?
Being a good doctor and being acceptable in society isn't necessarily one and the same thing, my dear. He may even be penniless.
Are you feeling better now?
Yes, sir. Just a little sit down, sir.
Oh, you sit there while I go behind the tombstone a minute. Hear me?
Yes, sir.
Judd?
What a day.
Yes, what a day.
I've been drunken and foolish again, and dear knows how it all happened.
Then you must say you don't know how it happened.
But I don't know how it happened. I swear I don't.
Please, Judd, just tell him.
They won't listen. They tell me.
Please, Judd.
Mistress, what a day. What a day.
Excuse me, ma'am. This gentleman be a witness in a court case, and isn't allowed to speak to witnesses.
Would it be a public hanging? Willie here hasn't seen one.
A Lady Queen Cross, first ride in the month.
Then you may be able to see one before you go back to Cheltenham.
Oh, very good. I like that.
Where are you off to, Hughie?
I'm just going to comfort poor Mrs. Poldark.
I know.
Well, you look a piss-poor lot.
Are you coming for the verdict, Father?
I can't waste any more time. I've business in Truro gathering dust for one of a signature. You can bring me word there.
As you wish. I think I'd better see what's happening.
You haven't finished your food.
Well, you finish it, Father. We don't want to show a loss on that, do we?
I suppose where you come from, you eat frog's legs and that sort of muck.
No, Mum. Where we come from, we eat very little.
That's a mercy. You may soon disappear altogether.
Captain Bray, I have 3 questions for you. Is it true that you met Captain Poldark on the beach?
Yes, sir. He came to my assistance when I was attacked by the rioters. He then took me and my crew to his house and gave us shelter.
Did you see the meeting between Captain Poldark and the officer of dragoons? And if so, would you tell us what happened?
I did, sir. He warned the captain it might be dangerous on the beach.
Would you say it was a friendly warning, intended to avoid bloodshed?
Mr. Clymer, that is a leading question.
Let me rephrase my question, Captain Bray. Did they quarrel?
It didn't seem so to me, sir.
Thank you, Captain Bray.
Captain Bray, did the accused accompany you to the house?
Yes, sir.
How far is the house from the beach in time?
About 6 or 7 minutes.
And after you'd arrived at the house, when was the next time you saw Captain Poldark?
For myself, I was sent to my crew.
Captain Bray, when?
About an hour, sir.
An hour? An hour? Well, during that hour, you can't possibly know where Captain Poldark was.
No, sir.
Or did you know from talking to the servants, perhaps, where he was?
I know that he made us very comfortable.
His charitable acts have no bearing on this case, Captain Bray. Do you know where he was?
No, sir.
Then he could have returned to the beach.
I don't know that.
But he could have.
Sir, he seemed to me a gentleman...
Just answer the question, Captain Bray. Are you prepared to swear that during the time he was away from you, he couldn't have returned to the beach and that he didn't?
No, I can't swear to that.
Thank you, Captain Bray.
Oh, Dr. Ennis. How do you feel, Master Painter? Reckon you'll be sober now?
As a judge. And I wish I had the same income.
You are an apothecary, I believe, Mr. Ennis.
No, sir.
You're not an apothecary?
No, sir. I am a physician.
A physician. So there is a difference. But cannot any man set himself up as a physician if he so desires?
He can do, sir, but he has no right to.
Would you explain to the court what right have you?
Yes, sir. I am a licentiate of the London College of Physicians.
Professional?
Equally with you, sir, and my title is not Mr., but Doctor.
Oh, we are getting some things clear.
It seems to be taking you some time to do so, sir.
In your statement, Doctor, you say you believe the accused to have been under mental strain on the night in question, brought on by some personal distress.
Yes, sir.
Did you study the subject of mental affliction in the London College of Physicians?
There is no such tuition, sir, as you probably know. One learns it through clinical experience.
How old are you, Dr. Ennis?
26, sir.
Not many years in which to have gained such enormous experience on the effects of insanity.
I'm not saying he was insane. I'm simply saying that through grief and lack of sleep, he was not entirely himself. His child had recently died.
A fact which you would have the court believe could justify anyone who lost a child to create riot, wreckage, and loss of life. Dr. Ennis!
I am not suggesting it, sir. You are suggesting it. I do not believe he did create a riot.
But might that not be the legal diagnosis a physician is not qualified to give?
Surely a physician has as much right to come to a diagnosis about his patient as a lawyer about his client.
Dr. Ennis, you formed this diagnosis. You must have some basis for it. Can you tell the court what it was?
His child died, my lord, the same night as the wreck. He was deeply distressed. His wife was very ill. He had suffered a loss he could almost not bear. I do not think he knew what he was doing. But I do know he was not wrecking.
That is a personal opinion, my lord.
A moment, Mr. Bull. Dr. Ennis.
At the child's funeral, my lord, it greatly upset him that he was not able, through his wife's illness and financial problems, to offer hospitality to the mourners. It is the custom, as you know.
Was the funeral before or after the wreck?
After.
Then what possible bearing can it have on this case, my lord?
This man is here as a witness to the defendant's character, not as a witness to events.
Continue, Dr. Ennis.
It is the custom in Cornwall to offer hospitality to the mourners, many of whom have come many miles. It greatly upset him that he was not able to do so.
And why do you mention this, Dr. Ennis?
As an illustration of the man's character, sir. That he is an honest man and feels things deeply, and that he is not the kind of man to create riot and wrecking.
Thank you, Dr. Ennis. Now the next witness.
Judge Painter?
Were you on the beach on the night of the wreck, the 7th of January last?
Yes, sir.
Doing what?
Helping to save lives, sir. Innocent seafarers.
Did you see Captain Poldark on the beach?
I did see him at one time, yes, sir.
You were too drunk to see anything, Judd.
Captain Poldark.
And what was he doing?
There were a deal of people on the beach, sir.
Yes, well, what was he doing when you saw him? It has been said that he boarded the vessel carrying a line.
You'd have been a fool to go without a line in that sea, sir.
Could the line have been used to remove the cargo?
You can use the line for anything, sir, on a ship.
Could it have?
It could, yes, sir.
And was it?
I wasn't on that part of the beach, sir, at the time. I was helping the crew ashore, saving lives.
It was, I believe, Captain Poldark who came to your house that night. What did he say?
He said for me to get out and rouse the man of the village.
What else did he say?
He said there might be women and children aboard and we must get the men and save them from the sea.
That is not your sworn statement, Mr. Painter.
Huh?
I said that is not your sworn statement.
I be not too good on statesmen, sir. I be a bit out of hearing and I may have mistook what was being asked of me. Apart from that, I can't write.
Mr. Painter, there has been reference to Captain Poldark saying, when he banged upon your door, there would be pickings for all, and that he said it to you. Now, if your hearing has improved, Mr. Painter, you will understand that this means that the moment he banged upon your door, his intent was to despoil the ship. Did he or did he not say it?
No, sir, I said it.
What will you take on an acquittal, George?
My lord, in the witness's statement...
Yes, I have read the statement, Mr. Bull. It must be obvious to the meanest intelligence that either perjury has been committed today or that corruption has taken place. It'll be looked into. In the meantime, the jury cannot form the basis of an opinion on the present witness's testimony. I therefore instruct the jury...
It'll be the truth, the truth!
Hang on, woman! I pray you, be quiet, ma'am. I therefore instruct the jury to disregard the evidence of the last witness, and that it be struck out. The witness may leave the dock. The last witness having been called, culprit, do you wish to address the court?
No, my lord.
Say something, for God's sake. At least ask for clemency, and do it courteously.
My lord, my counsel has advised me to say something on my own behalf.
Must come as a great relief to your counsel to see that you're taking some notice of him at last.
I am not going to ask for clemency, my lord. I need none.
We all need clemency from God, Captain Poldark.
But you are not God, sir. And neither is this court.
Captain Poldark.
I have already admitted that I did rouse the village. I've admitted that when I boarded the ship, I carried a line. We rescued the crew and looked after them. It may be that the learned counsel, and yourself, my lord, do not know what happens in this part of the country when a wreck is blown ashore. People come from far and wide, some to help, some to watch. There are 2 widows in my parish who would not be widows if their husbands had not tried to rescue shipwrecked sailors. I don't know what happened after I left the beach, but if they took cargo that was washed ashore and used it to feed their children's bellies, I say better they should have it than it should rot on the rocks. I would not insult your lordship's intelligence by asking for clemency in the face of lies told by prosecution witnesses who have been privately purchased expressly to voice these slanders.
You must not make a statement like that, Captain Poldark, in a court of the King's jurisdiction.
I have just made it, my lord. I plead not guilty to everything else.
Gentlemen of the jury, this is a very difficult case. The prisoner stands before you on 3 charges: of causing riot, of wrecking, and of leading an assault on officers of the Crown. You may find him guilty on all charges or on any one. He has pleaded mitigating circumstances with regard to the removal of the cargo, with which you may feel sentiments of sympathy. However, even if he wasn't there, and we have no proof that he wasn't, by his statement he has admitted an element of guilt. To condone a felony is to be equally guilty of it. Now, gentlemen, let me take you through the evidence.
How long do you think they'll take?
I don't know. I've never been in a court before.
Nor I never thought they would. Oh, why didn't he just... He turned them all against himself. Why didn't he just say things quietly? The judge is an honest man. He may understand.
I'm sure he will.
Annie Taylor died aged 90. Perhaps she'll lend me a flower for luck.
The jury are coming in. Now, do you want to come back?
I can't not be with him now, can I?
The bet's off, George. They can't look at him. It's evens on hanging, 10 to 1 on transportation.
I'll take it.
Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have, my lord.